Hello. So, just a quick update about some of the things that have been going on in the background, as they say. So yeah, it's interesting. Almost everybody I've talked to, I have to say, everybody I've talked to has been going through a rough patch. Either they've been sick or just not like just don't want to do anything, or both. As my case, as it is for I had both. A lot of my friends had both. I guess that fellow who was in the SSP, Mr. Rodriguez, he was talking about the same thing. Everybody's been, sick or just down and not interested and just, anyway. I, I had, as haven't been doing a lot of videos, but we're starting up again. Just, nothing to say. And we're just been kind of disappointed with the whole kind of situation. So it was just the roller coaster ride, the carrot dangles, the kick the can down the road thing. Actually, I should get that light there. I hate that. My kitty's over here. This is the guest bedroom. So I don't have too many places. I have a very old house, and the windows are set up weird, so you get backlight and front light and kinds of weird light, or no light. I look like I'm in a cave. Yeah, it's just been like it's weird. Like, there's stuff going on and it seems very positive, I have to say, as far as politics are concerned. I don't follow politics or watch the news, or I live under a rock. But they look like they're doing stuff. So there's that aspect. So then you're like, well, I don't know. It was just a weird kind of, how long is this going to go on kind of thing? Because I mean, it's been on and on and on and this and that and all the other stuff. So it's kind of like, there's been some funky foot dragging that happened upstairs. I heard it's since been removed or dealt with. And it's yeah. Anyway, so I don't, I had kind of, like I said, I had backed away a little bit and began to consider, a plan B kind of situation. If plan A is get the hell off this planet, go back home with my family. And plan B is remove myself from society and go live as a hermit. That's so I think sometimes having, I guess, contingency plans, I mean, what do you want to call it, can be helpful. Well, for me anyway, it's just like, there's no way I can, there's just no way I can deal with this planet. So I was trying to find ways in which I could, remain in a reasonable state of semi, I won't say peace, but contentment, I guess, low level of contentment. It's better than to despair and all that. So, the idea of living a life out on this planet is like, yes, that's like, yeah. Yeah. So I was with the horses, and I find that I'm with the animals, with nature, and this is something that might help some people. I don't know, a lot of us have been just going through this like cringing. And there's millions of us, so a lot of millions of people cringing. um, so spending time with the horses and everything. So I was at the barn, and it's just like, you know what? I'm going to kind of step back a little bit and just kind of like hermit up in a way, close down a lot of stuff and just spend some time with the animals to try to regroup a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of like distance myself. And so I'm going, I got their grain, and I'm walking in the barn, and I get this feeling of like, I don't know if it's like, it's kind of a combination of like sadness and like, don't do it, like kind of like sad, like shock. It's like, and I knew who it was, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I said, I'm not, you know, breaking up with you. Everybody, oh, you're breaking up. No, we're not. And I just did a podcast on love, so it's, but this is before that. I'm like, no, I'm not breaking up with you. And it's just this like sadness, like shock sadness, like, and because I hadn't really been um spending a lot of time with him. So it's just because I just can't deal with that anymore in a way at that time. So that doesn't mean I'm breaking up with somebody, but it's just like I have a really hard time living here. And it's like, to me, it's almost like there's, and maybe some of you people feel the same way. I don't want to, put words or, or talk about myself, maybe if I'm leading to something. It's like, I hate talking about myself, but I'm trying to like lead it. I have to tell the story to lead into stuff. As you know, there's nothing that drives me crazy is all these podcasts, in our arena, it's all about somebody, ours is our friends coming forward and you getting to know new friends. And I want you to come on this. I want people out there to come on this channel. I'm not looking for celebrity. I don't want, in fact, I won't interview celebrities unless we happen to be friends. I don't want any of those people on here. I only want real people, real street people, people like all of us, like just the ones. And it's interesting because, those of us who are us have a different perspective generally. Not all. I mean, can't lump everybody together, but we're not all happy camper. We're not all singing bowls and boobs hanging out and, all made up and, everything's wonderful. It's all great. Oh my God, life is good and blah, blah. And, that's just baloney because, life isn't that great. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like, that are really struggling. Whatever, emotional, existential, money, you name it, right? This is a fucking slave planet. So, all these woo-woo people, I just literally have zero tolerance. I don't watch anybody actually anymore. Every once in a while I'll watch Salah because he brings on somebody I want to hear. Like there was more, I only watch the technology and stuff like that. I completely stopped watching all the woo-woo stuff, all the, so yeah, Ika was, I told him, I said, this is just me talking in my own head. This doesn't mean that I was, I wasn't telepathing and you know, misunderstood something that wasn't meant for you to hear. And now you're not going to talk. So it is like, so this is what he does. And it's a him thing. It's not a hell thing and everything. Which I always tell people is a red flag when you see people talking about Andromedans or talking about Syrians or talking about, Pleiadians or whatever. It's like they're not a collective, they're individual people and they're all different. And there isn't one thing we all do. So anyway, yeah, he, misunderstood and I was trying to explain, like, look, you can't explain to him in an argument. He just shuts down and stuff. So I was just like, fine. I'm not breaking up with you. I don't know why you would think that. So it got upstairs. How, I don't know if he said, I don't know. Anyway, it got upstairs and I got called out. Nicely, just, and they never, diplomatic. I don't even work there anymore. So I'm like, I don't even work even, I don't even, how can you work somewhere where you don't work there anymore? So I think it's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can't leave. So anyway, apparently I still work there. Um, I don't, I don't, but anyway, I just can't get away from it. Apparently, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I got a message from the ship, and they're like, yeah, you're great and blah blah blah, but why aren't you talking to him? It's not that I'm not talking to him. It's just I have existential trauma stuff going on like right now, like um, and it's and like you need to do that. You need like and I want to do the videos for you guys, not for because I want to be friends. I want to bring you on. I have a lot of new friends in here, and I want to, keep up our friendship because I feel like sometimes this is and this Patreon is up. I just been messing around with it. It's kind of I'm not a tech person, so everything's kind of like brain surgery. And I've been fooling around with AI too, just to see what it does. What does it do? So like, yeah, no, I had planned on like doing video. I just had nothing. Like I literally have nothing to say. Like I don't feel the need to say. I mean, it was an existential thing where it's kind of like, why are we just telling all these stories and it's like what's going on? Like we want to know what's going on. There's millions of us down here. We're the boots on the ground. We're the ones that are like, digging through the mud, the in the trenches, and we're not getting any support. And this is what not, this is kind of a collective thing that's been being mentioned. And that's why I quit, because I'm like, I'm not going to work for somebody that doesn't, give me information or anything or any of our, you know, envoys and all that stuff. We're not getting anything, so it's kind of like, Yeah. I, I need, for me to do business with somebody, I need to have it on the level. So, um, then like, all right, yeah, no, obviously I'm not gonna, you haven't been with him and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, 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 no. It's like, that's a misunderstanding. Um, I needed to take a break. Okay. Like, this is weird. This is weird. And I know maybe they don't think it's weird, but for us here on Earth, living in the insane asylum of this, I don't even have words for how this planet is run, and all the pain and suffering and stupidity and just anyway. Um, Sometimes you need a break from that. And for those of you who are of contact upstairs and everything, you're kind of like, sometimes you wonder, like, where is everybody? Or, why are all of a sudden they cut, is that, yeah. It just gets where you got to take a break. And so that's where I was. That's what I explained. Anyway, so like, no, you need to do the videos again. So, and they actually, because I would gain, like I said, I would be gaining a lot of subscribers, and that was them upstairs controlling the situation. And when I went AWOL, they stopped all the subscribers. So that was interesting. They did. They actually put up a wall on the channel. Um, so what I was then told, because we've been complaining, and I can't say who this is. I wish I could tell you guys, but there's a lot of like politics involved, not upstairs or with us, but with other, contactees. So we have to be very careful. There are some contactees that have commandeered the narrative, and they psychically and politically attack other contactees and pull down their channels and things like that. So I have to be careful. So that's the only reason why I can't, because they'll disappear us. Not that they have any power upstairs, they don't. And we've been upstairs complaining, only complaining because they've attacked us. That's not, I don't give a crap, what happens. But when you start attacking people, then things. I didn't say anything. It was Eeka actually that went up and said this kind of stuff you can't have this kind of stuff. It's very juvenile. Um, it's just I don't, and I think for a lot of people they really have to sit back. Not that I should ever tell anybody anything, and I don't, but it's just, if you're going to go upstairs, you need to, not that they're not perfect or anything about God by any means. I think it's been a little bit of a shit show, to be honest. But yeah, you got to have some kind of diplomacy and decorum, and certainly if you're attacking members, of, like, literally of the ground crew, then yeah, there's some stuff has to be done. So Eco was the one that went up, not me, because I handle stuff myself. I work with not only my energies, but some Pleiadians that assist me in some of these things. So I just call them in, but we ended up going up and clearing up some of this stuff. So I don't give a crap about that. But so I was told what I just gave you, and apparently and I don't, like, I honestly don't, they're like, oh, you talk about certain groups and, they're not what you think. And I'm sorry. I don't trust any human military until they earn my respect. I just don't. I just don't. And not that they're not all bad. There's good people mixed in with the bad people, obviously. But I just think that there's something inherent in a lot of Terrans, particularly those that are in high positions, that uh, drives them to make decisions based upon less than moral foundations. I think a lot of them make their decisions based upon power and greed and money. And, I've seen it. So yeah, I'm not, and I'm still not, I'll say it right now, even though they want me to say the opposite, I'm not. I'm going to say I don't trust the white hats. I understand what they're doing, but I just don't, and I hope I'm wrong. But Earth people have a track record upstairs, and that track record is not very good. And these white hat organizations also have a track record upstairs that is not very good. So, and that is based upon greed. And they have, and I think, and again, this is way outside my, pay grade and what I do, but they're going to have to be babysat. And I know that upstairs is going to do that because I just, I know that they're going to be after being like they've always been on this planet, which is greed driven. So I think you just need to be aware. That's just my thing. I'm not saying they're all bad by no means. Some of them are amazing. You look at guys like JP, there's people like that. And my father was in the military. In fact, my father didn't like military because people were assholes. He was a career military. So yeah, it's like anywhere, or I think that's the thing. It's like I'm not going to say that the white hats are wonderful. I'm sorry, they're not. They can say that, come down and say it. I'm not going to say that. Because I think you have to earn trust, especially when you've shown that you're not, that's the thing, right? When you've shown that you're not trustworthy. In the past, they have not been trustworthy. And even now, I still think they're a little fishy. I'm like, why aren't they coming out? Who are these white hats? Who I can't even name one. I mean, other than I mean, and I know I can't say too much of what Eeka's seen, but he does. We have had like, husband and wife conversations behind the scenes of, disappointing things having to do with these people. Anyway, move on from that topic. That was just a conversation that I was having. So then apparently this year we'll begin some contact. Like I said, I don't want to say that and kick a can down the road again or carrot dangle. So I take everything they tell me with a grain of salt. That's just the way, that's just because of their past actions. Okay. Not because I naturally don't trust them, but it's just like you've lied to me a lot in the past. So, I'm going to take a lot of what you say with a grain of salt. And that's just me. Like you guys, I mean, I'm not telling people how to think or anything. I just, I'm tired of being, molded around like silly putty. So it's created a lot of, and it's my own fault, my existential crisis and emotional problems is nobody else's fault. It's my fault. I choose to feel that way. But it's just really disappointing. And so anyway, I don't know how else I can feel. I mean, when somebody disappoints you and you feel like you've been betrayed, it's, you're not going to be a happy camper. Again, your emotions are up to you and all. I understand that, but it's just, yeah. So that's what I was told. That it's and I mean, and I asked, I'm like, well, what do you mean by contact? You're gonna come down, shake our hands, and leave and be like, oh wow, hey, you guys do you, whatever. I mean, do you mean like, are we gonna be a normal planet like every other planet? Not every other planet, but you know what I mean. Like, are we gonna be the third wheel of the solar system? Are we gonna be the poor, backwards, barbaric, moron, idiotic, you're not gonna know stuff group, I mean, are we gonna be left to be controlled by these politics and military and and how do you fight that? It's like, oh, how do you fight a military? How do you take down your government? How are we supposed to do that without anything? I don't know. Because you can't get a bunch of people together. Yes, it could probably work. If you got maybe 40%, I mean, you mean 20%, 20%, let's say in the United States. 20% of the population says, enough is enough. We're tired of all this shit. We're tired of you taking our money. We're tired of you telling us what to do. We're tired of being serfs. Yeah, you might see something happen. You might see something shift. But yeah, like, I mean, what's the chances of that happening? Anything's possible, I suppose. But anyway, that's the conversation. So if you want to believe that this year you're going to have contact, be my guest. That's what I was told. So Eeka also mentioned that this might be this year. I'm like, but like, then I said, what I need to have defined? Like, because you're thinking contact, you're getting on a ship, get the fuck out of here, right? What? Contact is could be like it was in the past. They come down like at night and all the mystery and look at you like you're an idiot and shake your hand and leave. Right? I don't need that. I don't need that. That would be it's like that is so like insulting. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, yeah, it's like, ooh, that talking about gods. Oh, all the magical people who are better than you just came down and said hi. Oh, aren't you? It's like celebrities, right? It's like I don't believe in any celebrity. I live with animals. I live in their world. Celebrity doesn't exist for me. Government doesn't exist for me. Rules and like regulations that are fake that are put upon us don't exist for me. I do still follow some right now because I don't want to deal with the shit at this moment. Um, but if we don't have full on contact, I'm just gonna disappear. I'm gonna go AWOL. I'm gonna literally disappear. That's my plan. So I have that set up. But anyway, that's the news. Okay. Like I'm not gonna be like those other people being, oh my God, all these wonderful things are gonna happen, and they never do. I just heard from a very well-known contactee, and he was saying like, oh, the med beds are coming out in 2023. That it was an old video, and I'm just like, the fuck? They should be out in June of 2020. It was the year of 2023 when the video was posted, and it's like, yeah, oh, it was June of 2023. Um, and then certainly by the fall of 2023, the med beds are coming out. Okay, yeah, all right. Oh, I must have missed that. Did you guys? We all missed this. I don't know when it happened, but I right over my head. I hope that the time travel devices come out now so that we can go back to 2023 and access the med beds. So if you want, that's what we'll do. It's just that I'm just sick of that. You know what I mean? And it's just like over and over and over again, all these like tales of you know, mirages. There's an old Italian saying about that. This the spring that never comes. Next year we'll renovate the kitchen. Next year, then you die. It's like, the kitchen never got renovated. So I get tired of that. Um, no, I didn't break up with Eeka, even though he's not listening to me when that happened. No, we're fine. We're back together. We're all cuddle. He's childlike again. We're all cuddles and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, it got me thinking to the vision I was given. Like, these two things just come out of I think I was getting ready to go shopping at the barn or something, and that's when you get these things because you're in like zombie mode where it's like, oh, get your keys and blah, 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 right? And your mind is empty. Mine's empty a lot. um, I try to. So all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'm getting ready to go, and it's I'm I'm walking down the corridor again of a ship, and it's a curved corridor. I can pull it up. I try to AI these things. They never come out quite right. And obviously everything you see on YouTube is AI, and it's like it's not really um accurate. You've been up there. So let's get to where I want to go on this. I don't want to play that again. I've got a image. Let me see if it'll come up. No, where is that image? It's down here somewhere. There's this. Nope. Nope. Not that. Nice view of the Pleiades, though. If we ever will see that. Okay, this is the image I was looking for. There it is. There it is. So it looks something like this, but it was curved, very curved, and the color on the walls and the walls are similar to that. I mean, there's no strip lighting on top. In fact, there's no lighting or anything like that. It emanates. So the ships understand what you like, and it was low lighting because I don't like bright light. So the light would change as I walked along this curving, huge windows just like this on the side, and I knew it was the quarters where people stay. And I said, what is this? What are you showing me? And they said, you live here. And I said, you're here. I'm like, okay. And I was in my Earth body. I can't wait to get out of this body. Much gratitude for these bodies. But yeah, I'm done. I also just mentioned, folks, I know a lot of people are concerned because I have heard people have talked to me about this. They say, well, my husband, and we age on this planet and everything like that. Or my husband and wife is beautiful, right? And like in their 30s and and lovely. And they feel inadequate because they're in their, shitty Earth Terran body. And they're like, I'm old and, not exactly oil painting, let's just say. And they're like concerned about the way they look. And I said, doesn't they understand? Like, look, they understand. This is not you. Your body, your earth body is just a way for you to move around down here. So they don't see you as someone who's not me. Let's say if they're a seven and you're not a seven, right? According to Earth numbers or whatever, they're not going to judge like that. Okay, it doesn't that doesn't. So you don't have to worry about that. You're the person that they love, right? So they know who you are. It's not an issue about that. So for anybody who was concerned that their husband or wife who is extraterrestrial is, very lovely and they're looking at themselves saying, I'm not I'm no supermodel, right? That's all right. That you don't have to they look, you're in an earth body. And upstairs on the ships, so I can show you this is the ship. I'm just gonna pull out of this now. That's what it looked like. It was the quarters. So um there's all kinds of different species and beings upstairs. And when we talk about beauty here, it's not does not translate to what you're going to see upstairs. You're going to see all kinds, like I said, you all know there's all kinds of different species upstairs. And so no one's beautiful or not beautiful. Um, and I always want to be clear about this, the fact that I just happen to be a hell. So the only perspective I share with you is my perspective. I don't know what it's like to be a Syrian. I was in a past life. I'd have to pull that up. And that was such a different time period that it's not really relevant. It was Egypt, um, so the people that I know, well, some look very Native American, but others that I'm very close to are Nordic, right? They're blonde, blue or green eyes, and pale skin. Um, so that's not an ideal. And I think sometimes what happens down here on Earth is this idea that this is an ideal. It is not. It is just a race. That's it. All of the races that you see on Earth, you will see upstairs. So I don't know a lot of those people. So that's just, I'm only showing you what I know. And I wouldn't, I can't tell you about other things. Likewise, the body that you're in here does not reflect what you look like upstairs. So you can be in an earth body that is black. You can be an African person, right? A black skin. You may be a Pleiadian. So it's got nothing to do, you're when you star seeded or walked in, certain bodies were chosen, certainly family lines were chosen for a reason. So there are people upstairs who are Asian. They look Asian. There are people upstairs who look like they're from India. There are people upstairs who look Native American. There are people upstairs that look black. So we don't have any sense of like almost Nazism, right? There's like that this doesn't exist. There's no idea of beauty. So that's not really something to worry about. It just doesn't exist upstairs. I know some people might be elderly right now and wondering like, oh geez, I'm gonna go up and I'm in, and I look elderly. They don't, that's meaningless. There's people upstairs, there's races of humans that don't have any hair. They're all bald, right? People down here are like, oh, I'm bald. Who cares, right? A lot of bald people up there. When I was Syrian, I was bald. That doesn't matter. Your hair color doesn't matter. Your eye color doesn't matter. How tall you are doesn't matter. There's people upstairs, all kinds of crazy heights. So you're going to be walking. I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, that's I think that's the pain that I know that I feel, and that maybe many of you. I don't want to put words in people's mouths. So you might feel the same way, knowing that so close and yet so far. There's a realm in which hatred and that level. There are hatreds everywhere, but you know what I mean. Sexism and racism and all that idiotic and ageism and what have you and judging and all that. It's always there, to some point, but it's like it's not doesn't run society, and it's painful to know that where you belong, upstairs, um, you can't access. I mean, you can, but I mean, you know what I mean. So you're forced to navigate this barbaric, violent, idiotic realm alone, basically. which is another reason why I started this channel, so that we would all be, because I write everybody back. If you write me, I write you back. I talk to everybody, and we're all here for you guys. That's we want to have a group. That was the whole point of doing this. And I know Eka want to do this too. And I when I first um did this, this is not a channel of celebrities talking down to people. This is like we want to connect with you. I have made some amazing friends, the people who did start connecting with me, and they are amazing people. And I'm so grateful for that. If anything out of this hellhole of Earth is meeting you, and having that kind of a connection, and hoping and helping, others, because, I'm not one of those people that's like life's great. Like, no, I've been depressed for decades, and was really, really bad. And my Earth experience was very, very unpleasant, even as a child. And it was just like angst and anxiety throughout my whole life. And it's just exhausting. It's almost like me against the world fighting kind of thing. So I don't know what other people's experiences. We all have different pain. Some people grew up in poverty. Some people grew up, with weird religious issues. Some people, had bad marriages. Some people have had other terrible, they come out of war zones, whatever, right? So we all have, shit that we are carrying and emerging. So that's what I wanted. That's why, I mean, I don't want the channel to be all dark and depressing. That's not the point of the channel. But it's more realistic. I want it to be realistic and reflecting the trauma and the struggle that we have been through, millions of us who are here as boots on the ground. There are millions of us here as boots on the ground. And I want your voice to come. I want you to be heard. Because I think that's part of our problem here, is that, there's people, it's greed, really. It's greed. And I have a channel. It's all about me. And I'm going to control everybody that comes on, and they have to jump through certain hoops, and I'm the gatekeeper, and it's just that's what humans do, and it's very, like I said, it's very 3-year-old, it's very 5-year-old, it's childlike, but in a bad way, because being childlike is really very beautiful, actually. But this is like negative childlike. And that's not something I want to do. That's not something you do. You don't deserve that shit. I want you to come on. And if you're not comfortable coming on, and many people, and I totally understand that, because it's a freaking, yeah, cutthroat situation here. But we would love to have you on, and love to talk with you, and support you as much as you support the people who do come forward on this channel. We all support each other as one group. So like I said, I really want to hear from you. Write your thoughts, feelings, and ideas and experiences in the comments. You can write to me on Facebook, message me, personally on Facebook, and others that have been on this as well. You can message them too. We're all on Facebook, and some people are on TikTok. But yeah, we want to create a family, because that's what it's like upstairs, and it's a love desert on Earth, and we miss that community, that sense of safety, that's just that sense of belonging, that sense of being heard, that sense of mattering. And it's yeah, that's what's so painful here. So yeah. Anyway, as always, we'll just slog ahead. Don't take any crap. Again, I hate to be like, I never want to tell people what to do, but it's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not taking any crap from upstairs or downstairs. And enough is enough. We're tired of waiting. We're tired of kicking the can. We're tired of not getting information of what's going on. But remaining reasonably positive, because there's some positive stuff happening, right? So we are actually seeing, which is what I've always wanted to see, concrete positive shit, right? I want to see this stuff happening. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, these are all the things we're going to do. I don't want to know what you're going to do. Do it. I think that's a farmer. Farmers don't talk about stuff. We do stuff. So I don't want to be in meetings. I don't want to, do all these powwows or whatever the people do. I don't want that. Let's get your shovel, and let's go. Let's clean the stalls, right? So I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. And anyway, so oh, he's himself is around. we gotta do another show now that I'm like out of this funk. And so yeah, he's waving. He says hi to everybody, and yeah, maybe one day we won't be. This won't be. This is like this to me. This is insanity. Like you can't talk to ETs, and they can't live with you in a house. Like a husband and wife can't live together in a house because the deep state. When you fuck, who are these assholes? Why is the media still up? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, right? Um, Abundance and joy to all.